A word for our listeners. Achtung Cthulhu is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerd's Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Phil Durham, Rob Walker, Jestin Kimmet, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Scott Troiano, with Matt Quiett running the table as the keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to Nerd's Domain presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm Matt, and I'm here with Rob.
Had a great time.
Justin.
Hi.
Scott. Phil.
Hi.
George.
That's me.
And Shirley.
Hi. Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
Hi, Phil.
So you guys are headed down to...
Hi, George. Hi.
I just hate to be rude and not reply to somebody.
Alright, so we're going to focus now. Thank you. So you guys are headed down to the dock, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you head down to the dock.
No, we're not heading down yet. We're already at the
I'm sorry, you're heading down the
slip.
You find the commander and Evelyn sitting on the slip, eating a nice lunch, and there's a gentleman in a proper crew attire standing by the gangplank.
Well, one of us is sort of nibbling at our lunch. The other one is shoveling it.
If you're not going to eat that, I will.
Still shoveling it? That's a long time to be shoveling. That's a lot of lunch.
Okay, so you guys
cucumber sandwiches.
You guys arrive. You're all there. Go ahead. Talk.
Somebody's dog died.
Hi.
Yeah, the German dog.
Do you want to tell the commander about what's going on?
Yes.
So do that.
That's what I just said. I said the German dog.
Oh, okay.
Someone
He knows
that
what's up.
person.
The mark was hit by what I think was someone that was staying at our hotel. Looked like, spoke with a British accent. He was dressed in such a way, had large mutton chops. Kind of a lordly capitalist bearing.
Was he traveling with anyone?
We saw him with a woman of Middle Eastern, Mediterranean.
Egyptian?
Yes?
They're on the boat.
Oh, they have the books.
Okay then.
Don't look at me. You filled the spot.
Sweetie, time to pack up the picnic and get on the boat.
What? Why?
So that we can follow the young Egyptian lady.
I wasn't paying attention to anything you guys were doing.
The man.
So that we can follow the young Egyptian lady and the British gentleman with the mutton chops.
Okay.
The man who killed your friend is dead. He was killed by a man who took the books we are trying to recover. And he is on the boat.
Carlos?
She shakes her head violently. What?
I have a
What's
picture
going
if you
on?
want proof.
I can't explain that any more clearly.
Mr. October and Carlos, I think that you two might best help us at this moment by speaking to the steward and perhaps seeing if
So,
at this late time we can get onto the ship.
At this point in time, like, hearing that, like, how, like, her clarity is just not going to return. It's not something that just you sober up from if you hear something or
No, you've got some.
I'm laudanum.
No.
I'm going to lean close to her. The only thing I can think of to get her off, I will whisper in her ear, laudanum makes you fat.
Okay.
The only thing to get her off.
It's worth a shot.
Also,
I'm taking it.
phrasing,
I'm
Jesse.
taking it. I'm taking
Phrasing.
it. She's
Maybe
weird.
she really...
No, okay, no.
How about we don't go there?
Okay,
That
so
would be nice.
Needs a good.
no.
I'll walk up to
No.
the steward.
Okay.
You'll
There's We need passage for 4 people.
Okay, first, start over with all walk up to the steward and talk into the mic.
I walk up to the steward. I need passage for
Mr.
4.
October, I'm assuming the steward is Mexican? Yes? No?
Yes.
So
All of that English?
That's why I suggest you bring Carlos with you. You have the money. Carlos can do the speaking.
And while they're having the conversation of who can best hablas the Espanol, I am going to gather up the corners of our picnic, take my wife by the arm, and walk us up the
No,
plank.
are you saying
I speak
like,
Latino. I
the
will speak
person
Latino.
No, stop. Stop.
hold on, are you saying that the person that killed Joanne,
Yeah.
Joanne is dead?
Yes.
The person that killed Joanne is dead?
Yes.
When I can get to a dark room, I will give you a picture.
What did you do to her, Commander?
The person that
This is
killed
not
Joanne
the
is
time
dead?
nor the place to be having these conversations.
She is grieving, and we are going to get on the boat. Come,
Yes.
dear.
We will make all this
No,
clear to you soon, miss. But please, we must move quickly at this time.
Carlos,
In time,
would
we
you
will get this clear to
accompany
you.
me to the Spanish-speaking steward?
She kind of just stands there.
We're cross-talking a lot, by the way.
Sorry.
I lead her up the gangplank.
Okay, so you guys, the commander and Evelyn get onto the boat. The 4 of you, who's going to talk to the steward? Carlos and Mr. October. You approach the steward, and he stands tickets. He says in accented English.
I will hand him a wad of money.
Roll credit.
I am not a subtle individual.
Wow, where have we heard that before?
Ouch. Well, I rolled a 94 over 89. Clearly that's not enough money. Here's more.
Yeah, he kind of looks at the money, and you notice that it's all a bunch of ones.
Wrong pocket.
You hand him another wad of cash.
Yes.
How many?
4.
How many cash?
No,
How
how
many
many
cash?
people? 4 rooms,
4 rooms.
all the way to our final destination is in France.
Sounds good to me. The best rooms you have.
Do you have luggage?
We don't need the best rooms, and we do not have luggage.
You guys didn't pack anything back to the hotel? Changes of clothes and such.
My stuff is in the plane.
The plane's still in San Diego.
I know.
Okay. I'm merely giving you the information.
I don't know that my stuff is packed at the hotel. It's certainly at the hotel.
Are you sending people back to get it?
We'll send people back to get our stuff. We have luggage.
It's that telegraph Morse code.
First class?
Yes.
That's not necessary.
Yes.
This will cover it.
Carlos gives a disgusted roll of his eyes.
He whistles. He takes his first and pinky finger, puts it in his mouth, whistles, and 2 men come.
Am I close enough to overhear?
Yeah.
Would my character think that he's gonna that Carlos is gonna look out of place in first class?
No. Burn victims can still be rich.
So he's gonna look out the place everywhere.
I wasn't thinking burn victim. I'm just thinking by his dress, by the general demeanor, and the way he presents himself.
What he's
his
generally
attitude.
wearing is a mechanic jumpsuit and a bomber jacket.
And by his clear attitude about it right now, clearly myself and Mr. October are going to stand out less in first class. I don't know where Gorp would fit in best. I don't know where Carlos would necessarily fit in best. So if I'm within earshot to hear what's going on, I would suggest, as best my character would know, that not everyone go to first class if they're not going to fit in well there. If everyone fits in well there, then I would.
Are you saying they don't deserve first class?
I'm saying
No,
we
no,
need
no,
to be
no.
inconspicuous.
Gorp, what's your credit rating?
Where's that at now?
It's right about under your dice. There you go.
17.
Yeah, so neither Gorp nor Carlos are going to fit in well in first class.
Whereas right now, Mr. October is singing, "You're the proletariat, baby, I'm the bourgeoisie."
Mr. October, just for the purposes of our goal, I think that some of us, perhaps the other two of our compatriots, might do better not in first class.
We'll take 2 first class and 2 of the worst rooms you have.
Steerage it is.
Soft men require luxurious accommodation.
Yes, we do.
So the two men come down the gangplank. The steward stuffs some of the money in his pocket and then puts the other money. He says, "Your keys to your rooms at the hotel. We will check you out and bring your things."
I hand him my key.
I assume you all hand keys.
Yeah, there's nothing in my hotel.
Yeah, so we didn't leave anything.
They bring
Yeah,
you-
that was my.
No,
that's
you
my
left
question is.
the books. I mean, like, I wouldn't imagine you'd bring the books on a snatching
No.
job, right?
Well, the only. Well, how many books did you buy? I know that I'm reading one of them.
I think you bought like 2.
Yeah, I think.
And DeVermes Mysterious was the one that mattered. I don't remember what the other one was. Yeah, I do. It was one of.
Well, but the guy's going to come back from Carlos's room with, like, the shampoo and the conditioner and a little bottle.
And the Holy Bible left there.
Oh, and yeah, the Gideons.
I think the books that are more critical are going to already be on the boat, so it's.
No, they're going to pack up your stuff. It's not a big deal. So,
At this point, if we're getting on the boat, we're going to lose it.
Hold on.
We're going to lose it in the hotel, or we're going to.
Including the 100 rounds of ammo?
Yeah, unless they steal them. There's always that chance, but I doubt it.
But my point is this: we're getting on this boat. Our choices at this point are pay to try to get it, or give it up anyway. So we might as well pay to try to get it.
Well,
Especially since it's not my money.
Right, there it is.
And you've already paid since he just handed over the cash, and all he did was take money out of
Mr.
it.
October.
Yeah, so we got the stuff.
Yeah,
Languages
so-
later.
So you guys are led onto the boat to your separate rooms. The steerage rooms are tiny and terrible, and they probably give you one with a bunk. And then the first class rooms are nice for a boat. I don't know what they would look like in the 40s or in the 30s.
Pretty nice.
I bet they're still going to be smallish.
Yeah.
And as we're walking like up the gangplank and going through the ship, I'm very disturbed. He can tell that I'm very disturbed and very upset. And when you try to like escort me, I kind of jerk away from you and ask you not to touch me.
We need to go to our room.
He's talking to you, not me.
I would like to see my uncle.
As soon as we're in our room and we unpack, we will make accommodations to see your uncle.
Fine.
So you guys get onto the boat. About 40 minutes later, each of the 4 of you that didn't have your things packed, well, I'm sorry, everybody but Carlos. Nobody shows up at your room, Carlos, because you had nothing in your room. But about 40 minutes later, each of you, there's a knock on your door, and there's one of the two crew members has your things. All of it's there. Unless there was like change that was just left out, they took that. But otherwise, everything's there.
Even on top of whatever change I might have left there, I would skip the workers. Not trivial, but a small amount, assuming that they've already gotten
Okay. Something that fits for the situation.
Yes.
Okay. So you guys get settled into the boat. It takes about an hour and a half from the time you get on the boat before they're like casting off, getting ready to go. You're told that you were given a short description of the boat, and they walked you past some rooms on the way to first class. The steerage people are kind of left on their own. There is a library / sitting room area kind of deal. It's not the biggest boat. It's definitely far smaller than like the Titanic. But there is a parlor essentially that also doubles as a library. But all of the books are kind of in cabinets like you would want them to be. There's maybe 50 books in the whole library though. It's not a And there's plenty of room for people to sit there. And then there is a small ballroom that also, will double as like a dinner area.
Is there a place where I could sit, where I could keep an eye on a lot of traffic?
Yeah.
I will sit there with a sketchbook and just sketch.
Okay.
As we're getting our tour, I will try to, as inconspicuously as possible, be keeping an eye out for the British gentleman and the Egyptian.
Just as you're beginning to pull out of the harbor, the British gentleman comes down. He seems to be headed toward the dinner area. It would be about dinner time or early, at least dinner time.
I, as a player, have been on a single cruise and was one of the big boats and so this is your time where you can do dinner. So I certainly don't know how it would work here. Not everyone eats at the same time.
The first class people are going to essentially have time to dine. There's a time frame from like 5 until 7, but you don't have to come right at that time. You can come in that time window. Steerage is they eat somewhere else. You don't question it. You have enough money and you've known enough money to not worry about that kind of thing.
When I notice the British gentleman, does he see or do I notice that he notices me?
That's a good question. Oh yeah, he notices you a lot.
What is his reaction upon seeing me besides recognition?
He seems British happy, which is muted at best. Whereas Americans smile a lot. He just a small smirk, but not like a mischievous or devious smirk. Say an acknowledgement and oh hey, I know somebody.
An acknowledgement of recognition.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I see Mr. October at this moment?
Yeah, you guys are probably hanging out in a similar area.
Has Mr. October spotted?
Yeah.
Did I see him?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I've noticed that Mr. October has noticed.
Yes.
Upon noticing that he's visibly recognizing me, I think that I would approach him.
You kind of get up and head after him. I assume you were in the parlor at this time to watch the main walk.
If he gets out of my line of sight, I want to try to keep him in it. I will get up and follow.
The British man? Okay. So you guys you both head towards the dinner car, or the dinner area. In the car, but not on the train. The captain, or Wilkerson, I'm just going to call him Wilkerson, not the British guy. Wilkerson takes a seat at one of the tables by himself. And when you two walk in, he calmly motions you over, no, you can come over and join me. Do you do so?
Mr. October, you got up to me at this point?
Yeah.
Let's join him.
Sounds like a plan. Be rude not to.
Yeah.
I will make sure I close my schedule.
Okay. As you approach, he stands properly like he should and extends his hand. Captain Reginald Wilkerson III.
Professor Washington?
Do you give a first name?
John. Professor John Washington.
And you, sir?
Augustus October.
He shakes both your hands. Both of you roll credit rating.
I made it.
I also made it.
You know that he is the Earl of Sandwich, which is not the most important area, but he has a seat in the House of Lords. He has some political, this is essentially a senator or a congressman in America. He has some political power. He also is probably very, very rich, like October rich. He doesn't seem to notice he doesn't acknowledge the name Washington like it means something to him, but when you say Augustus October, he says, "Oh, Mr. October, I've been meaning to meet with you. I hear that you acquire things."
Yes.
So tell me what brings you to Tijuana, and now I guess to France.
I hear it's a good time to travel.
I don't know that there are places that are not the best to travel. Spain is still a complete mess.
Yeah.
But France is wonderful this time of year, and good old Great Britain is always wonderful. And he says this with as much like pompousness as Scott can ever possibly muster.
So what brings you out here?
Oh, I have embarrassed my family by wedding an Egyptian woman, and it was time to get some fresh air away from Mother England. But we'll be headed back there. We'll be heading to France and then headed back to England to, settle down and get back to business.
Affairs of the heart.
She, well, you saw her. She keeps me in line.
A woman like that puts Steve in a bad stride.
So, Professor, what do you teach?
I teach anthropology.
I knew a gentleman that taught anthropology some years ago. It's a shame he had passed away quite a few years ago, but he was a great man. Taught at Harvard.
Oh, what was his name?
Professor Wilkerson. No, Wentworth. Professor Wentworth. You would have heard of him. He went missing in 26.
Well, I would assume that I would think well of his work.
Yeah.
I've read a great deal of his work. Wonderful work. It's a shame that she.
A very incredibly intelligent man. Held himself quite well for someone who grew up essentially in Egypt with his parents. They were archaeologists as well. So when you live in outside of society like that, sometimes that can drop your edges. But he kept himself quite well.
You're a lucky man to have known him.
I count myself as such, yes. So, what are your plans in France?
I'm always on the lookout for new things to add to my collection.
Really?
Yes, I hear your family's
Connected would be the word you're looking for.
Connected.
Yes, quite connected. Anything specific? Do you dabble in anything specifically, or are you looking for anything, a new direction perhaps?
Well, right now I've been looking at it in my library.
I see. Any particular subjects?
I personally prefer old. It doesn't really matter what kind. I don't really read the books all that much. But
Just a collector.
The date's more important than the content.
I understand. I might have a couple of books in my library that I would be willing to part with if I could have you at our estate sometime.
Sounds good.
Good.
We can swing by there after our trip to France.
Are you I can't say that I know, but as a member of the October family, I would assume are you a member of the Masons or maybe the Skull and Bone Society from Harvard? Which you would know is a fraternity, a very secretive fraternity.
Yeah. Is there anything about him that gives off the presence that he would be a similar thing? I'm assuming Skull and Bones people do not just but yes, I am a member.
You could admit it, but that would be as far. You wouldn't be like, yes, I am. Let me tell you about a secret. No, it would be like, yes, I am, but you would also have some sort of symbol. He puts his hand like kind of on the table, and you see on his right ring finger a ring that shows what you know to be the Fool Society. I wouldn't know what that quite would look like, but it's their kind of symbol. Do you find yourself in a fraternity similar to that?
Something similar. The Skull and Bones.
Oh, good. A good Harvard man then.
Yes.
It's no Oxford, but you got to have something new and fresh occasionally. So you guys kind of sit there and chit chat, order dinner.
Are you still at Strange with your family, or?
Oh, well, I'm the head of the family, but it was still quite embarrassing to my brother and to a couple of my cousins. I wouldn't call it a strange so much as when you do something embarrassing like that, you leave for a little bit and you come back and everything's fine. Let everybody adjust.
As a player, would his frankness at discussing his situation for a great strike my character?
It is a little light on the, or he's a little loose with lips. Like normally a Britishman wouldn't give up this kind of information so quickly.
Okay.
But he also seems traveled, and you know that he did some traveling in his youth. Well,
no, that's very good.
So,
My
yeah.
character, wants him to spill as much information as he can. So it's really not as a player or a character trying to slow him down at all.
Was this dinner, lunch, breakfast?
Dinner.
Dinner. I'll order us some drinks.
Oh yeah.
I'll order all three of us some drinks.
He makes sure to order 3 fingers of gin. And then he does order a meal, steak, potatoes, regular fare.
Since he seemed to have formed more of a connection with Mr. October, I'll speak up when seemingly appropriate, but not overly insert myself into the conversation.
Okay. Okay. So do you talk about anything specific, or just chit chat back and forth?
Chit-chat back and forth.
Okay.
I'm going to try to lead the conversations to being invited to his house. I mean, there is a chance that we're not going to have to murder this guy in the future, so I would like to have the contact.
Yeah. Well, and as far as you know, all you know is, as far as you know, he's just handing off the books.
Yeah.
You don't know that he's anything else. He talks about England and the politics, and you follow along decently well. It's a little different than America, but you understand what's going on.
In the active conversation we were having, at least twice, he kind of brought up the marriage thing. If he were to bring that up a third time, I would probably ask as to where his wife was.
He does eventually. You get most of the way through the meal. He's had 4 or 5 drinks, and he keeps every time.
Inconspicuously as
Oh yeah, no. Every time that he finishes one, he orders his own and then goes to order yours as well. So if you keep up with him, that's fine. If you don't, he doesn't seem upset by it. Just
I keep up.
do you all as well, Professor?
If Mr. October is clearly keeping up, what I would probably be doing is going slow, but then kind of when it's clear that they're at the end of another round that's coming up, kind of kill it so that I'm not falling off.
Okay. He mentions a trip to Egypt, and you gently, calmly bring up his wife and ask a little bit of where they met and so on and so forth. And then
the question I was okay.
And then you get to so it's a shame we missed her tonight. It's essentially what you said. Yes, well she the food in Mexico is unique and doesn't always sit well.
One nice word for it.
I have a cast iron stomach myself. She is not blessed with such. Egyptian food is quite different, and her palate doesn't accept quite as many things as mine does. She was tired after such a long trip and felt it best that she laid down.
I can only.
Yes. Different things for different people, as it is. And he continues to just drink and have he is pleasant in conversation. As you sit there, though, it is clear that something is more than just a little off. Like it's more than he's more than just that he's a little loose with who he is and giving you too much information about inconsequential things, but still private things. It's that there's a look in his eye that he's twinged off a little bit.
Does he make eye contact?
Oh yeah,
while
yeah,
talking?
yeah. But when you look in his eyes, after a little while, you're uncomfortable. Yeah.
Is it like a supernatural uneasiness, or is
No.
it like an Asperger, like he doesn't quite kind of get social interactions type?
I wouldn't call it that because that's completely different. But yeah, it's a little bit like that. It's more like maybe he's a little unhinged,
Oh, okay.
like Scott is all the time.
What do they expect? I'll let you roll. Get us.
You could roll, yeah.
It's not going to help.
I'm trained in psychology. I will be assessing him, so I suppose
Yeah, go ahead.
I got an 11.
I would hope that'd be under, since I think it starts at like 50 or 25 or something.
It starts at 5.
It starts at 5.
I'm trained at 50.
Yeah, something's off, and you can't quite tell what, but it's like his mind has broken at some point in time and never healed. He fidgets a little more than you would expect. He folds and unfolds his napkin several times in just a very obsessive, compulsive way, but that seems to be the one thing that he's focused on. He has perfect table manners, though. Like, he puts his fork and knife the way you're supposed to show that you're done or ready or whatever you're doing. And there's a whole thing there. Everything he's doing at the table is just perfect, and if you weren't trained in psychology, you wouldn't have picked up on a lot of this. It just would have seemed like, that's a weird quirk he has. This isn't a weird quirk. It's all kind of tied into this strange behavior. You guys kind of get towards the end of dinner. He has ordered, and the rest of the dining room has not filled, but there are people there. He has taken his time, and I assume you guys kind of match his speed to keep the conversation going. He has ordered a dessert. He has ordered cigars and cognac. Like, he has taken his time, and it's almost 8 o'clock when he finally says, "Well, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, and I look forward to a few more weeks of time getting to know you two, but I must retire back to my wife."
I truly also look forward to this journey together.
And I wish her a speedy recovery.
Yes.
You both realize that you're slurring just a little bit.
This far.
Because he has been drinking a lot, and he has been expecting you to keep up, and you have been, but it's been a lot. He kind of stands up.
Does he slur?
Nope, not a bit. And he stands up, straightens his jacket, buttons it, and says, "Good night, and I will see you, I'm sure, tomorrow." And he kind of walks calmly, straight as an arrow, no wobbles at all, straight out the door.
Should we follow him?
Not tonight.
I think we got this.
I think you should shut up. I think we should have another drink.
So the rest of the evening, for those down in steerage, you are brought to like this kind of crappy little bench.
Is it a lively dance?
No. It's essentially benches and long tables. You're served decent enough food, but it's a little bland. It is German, so it's a lot of wurst and salad, potato salad, and that kind of like hearty German food, which
you're
is
saying
good.
It's the worst meal they've had?
Yes, it's a very worst filled meal.
It's the first.
But you go through the dinner fine, but you've picked up that steerage people stay in steerage. You don't go up on deck. You kind of just hang out down here and deal with it. You are welcome to use the dining area to to enjoy each other's company, and it's a social area. But otherwise, stay in your rooms. I mean, you're not given much room leave on the ship.
I'm going to let Evelyn know that I think we'll need to wait for your father to come down to see us.
My uncle.
Certainly.
And
you can tell I've had a few nips at a hip flask that apparently I'm very with.
I want to see him as soon as possible.
Certainly.
The four of you, do four sit together at dinner or close, or are you still keeping up the facade?
Oh yeah, they're down here in steerage too.
Yeah. So Gorp and Carlos, you sit with the Mr. and Mrs. Commander.
I don't think so. I think we probably sit by ourselves and take a watch on them, but
okay.
More surveying the area.
Then you two would probably recognize that she seems very distraught, or at least withdrawn.
And despondent.
Yeah, despondent. That's a good word.
The evening goes by. After the two gentlemen in first class kind of end your evening, do you either one of you head down to steerage. You're welcome to go to steerage, but why would you?
Not tonight. I don't want to fall off the boat and die.
Well, steerage is just down in the lower decks.
I don't want to fall off the boat and
You
die.
can't fall off the boat and die.
Tell the drunk guy that.
This is not the
Yeah,
time.
and Jesse, more to the point, steerage typically does not have access to anywhere that would have a railing.
True.
I mean, they're not
There
like
is
high
no-
class
yeah,
enough to be able to
yeah.
see the outside.
If we see the water, you are in trouble.
You're right.
Oh, no, you guys have little portholes. And by little, I mean, like, you could put a baseball out of it if it were open.
I was thinking that I'll try to put this in the most PG way that I can. That what I might do in order to communicate to the crew would be to pay a ship hand to bring a very specific person from Sirius to my room.
Roll your credit rating.
Hire a lady of the evening.
I assume.
Carlos ignores the ship hand and is like, I'm not going up there. You come down here.
I'm not gonna ask
Calls it a ship
I
game.
got a
ring
20
with
under
stars.
65.
Okay. So you
20 under 65.
you describe, I assume, Evelyn, or not?
I would describe to the deckhand, Evelyn, and ask that she be brought to my room.
So there is a knock on the commander's door. The commander, Mr. and Mrs. Commander.
I thought we were eating.
This is after.
Well, we
you
go back to the room and we're like, well, maybe he'll come down and it'll be all right. I take
No,
We
if
go back to the
we're
room
going
and-
to have that conversation, it's going to be a very different conversation.
okay. Then we finish up dinner and I'm going to try to get us back to the room.
Okay, because yeah, I went to see my uncle now,
Okay. All right.
and
all right.
Yeah, about that time there is a knock on the door.
Perhaps that's him. And I'm going to let her get the door.
I get the door.
Uh,
This is not my uncle.
hold on. I didn't even let him talk. Jeez. The gentleman at the door smiles and says, "Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
There has been a request from first class for some company. I know that the arrangement that you made was that it would be easy for you and your wife. But perhaps you would acquiesce. You are welcome to say no, and there's no harm. But the gentleman isn't, he's not frightful.
He's not burned.
He's not like that Spaniard. I believe he's actually a professor.
Yes, dear.
I should like to go.
As the lady wishes.
She's gonna dilly dally right along.
You both roll me a persuade.
I hope somebody
Both
else
of you.
asks for a lady
That's you
also.
as No.
Made it.
You walk into Captain Wilkerson's room. No.
No. Professor Wentworth's room.
No.
Now I feel unclean too.
Did you guys both get a persuasion?
I did.
Do I not have anything? I don't have anything. No, I didn't make it.
Captain or Commander, you have made it clear that you two have been fighting, but she's a little too out of it to be convincing, which might be convincing in and of itself. And he says, "As you wish. Would you like to take a moment to put on your face?" Just a nice way of saying, put on some makeup. You've essentially been drinking, so you've been sweating.
I step up.
Whatever, man.
I half close the door, and not the whole way, just enough to kind of like, hey, give us a
Yeah, and he doesn't slow you
he's
down.
like, all right,
Whatever.
Yeah, hey man. Dear, perhaps if you could blot and powder
Do you say this quietly, like you whisper it to her, or you just say it like normal?
I say it in enough of a tone that it would carry past the door, but I try to make it like I'm trying to talk.
Oh, no. You are correct. And then I go and fix my face.
So as you walk back to the little sink
because obviously this gentleman wishes your melodious company.
I
open the door back up.
As you're washing in like the little sink you have, the deckhand slips you $25. Commander. Just as a note, Professor, you gave him like 40.
What do I roll to be
disgusted?
No, coy. It what's the I palm that roll?
Fieldcraft.
Fieldcraft?
Yeah, because you're a trained military. Fieldcraft.
Sweet.
Go ahead.
As opposed to espionage or tactics, right?
Yeah. You don't have fieldcraft?
I don't have fieldcraft. Which is great because I've not been out in the field.
You also could roll sleight of hand if you have that, but I don't know that you would.
That's not a skill.
Alrighty then.
I'm sorry, not sleight of hand. Conceal.
I would much rather roll conceal because I have base in both, and conceal is just way better than.
Oh yeah,
than, fieldcraft. Missed it by 8.
Okay.
But apparently, as she washes and then towel pat and brings the towel down to Phoebe, going 20, 25. I fold it up. Do I see that she's
No, you count it quickly and then like you go to put it in your pocket and drop it, and you.
Well,
like,
no, I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna
oh.
keep it in my hand. I'm not gonna put it away because
she sees you.
Oh, here, and I hand her the wad of bills.
Thank you.
It's 25.
May I have the laudanum too, please?
No, I'm gonna hang on to that.
No, I think you should give it to me.
Well, it'll only be polite company and conversation.
The gentleman upstairs probably has drinks in his room.
Yeah, I think you're in a state at the moment, and perhaps we don't need to exacerbate that state.
It will not be exacerbated. May I have it, please?
It might be best just to give the lady what she wants.
Is this what the guy at the door says? Okay, I remove the bottle of laudanum and oops. I dropped it by mistake.
Shirley, would you like to roll?
Drop, throw, whatever.
We're gonna call it punch. Yes, it is in fact punch.
What, to grab this out of the air?
Yeah, and I don't want to drop it towards her. I want to be like, as I'm turning, turn the bullet head. Oops.
I don't see punch on my character sheet at all.
God bless America.
Oh, he does.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Yeah, so it falls, it crashes. Your grapple attempt has failed.
Oh, I'm sorry, sweetheart. I'm clumsy that way.
Clumsy like a fox.
For the record,
You're not even in the room, George.
That was
you were
in
so
character.
excited about pushing her to the shooting stage. You just took away her drugs.
Carlos is in his room all by himself and goes, clumsy like a fox.
I need some lip balm.
What
Chapstick inside.
Okay, so so are you
She
going?
doesn't say a word, turns, and
Follows the deck.
marches out into the hallway and just starts walking without
Okay.
even
He runs kind of up to catch up with you and then takes you up to Professor Washington's room, and as the door opens, Professor Washington is sitting there.
As we're going up and we get into the first class hallway, she starts looking around frantically and then just like bolts down one of the hallways.
A roll up.
Okay. Because she's looking for her uncle. She has no idea what she's doing, but hey.
You are at a negative 20, don't forget.
So I got a 50 under 65. So that would be, no, it would be 70. If it's a negative 20, you add, right?
No, if it's a negative 20, you subtract the number you're trying to get under. Which is still fair.
Oh,
It's still fair.
yeah.
So you turn and bolt down a hallway, which just stairways back down.
Oh,
Says, come on, and he kind
turn
of
around, dejected.
he grabs you gently by the arm, but then is very clearly coaxing you along.
Unhand me.
Well, I want to make sure we get where we're going. I wouldn't want you to get lost up here in first class. And he takes you to a door and knocks on it.
Do you know a Mr. October?
Yes, I believe.
Could I see him first before I go to this gentleman?
I don't believe Mr. October has requested your company. And he knocks on the door. And so, Jim, you two are in the professor's room, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll be lounging on the bed.
No, absolutely not. Not for the knees.
Yeah,
So you hear a knock at the door.
Even to keep up the facade, you would be out of sight.
Yeah, I'll be outside.
You knock at the door.
She's still working around.
Or you
there,
hear a knock at the door.
I would open the door.
And it is the professor. Professor Washington.
Please do come in, dear. Quickly. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. And he kind of turns around and walks away.
She's stunned and she gets ushered into the room and
Hey, how's it going? I'll pop up out of hiding.
okay. She runs and she hugs you and
She stumbles and hugs you.
hugs you and just bursts out into like this hysterical crying and what you basically get out of her is that she's very upset and she wanted to kill the guy first and it wasn't fair and it's not fair that somebody killed him first and she wanted to kill him first.
It's okay. Here, I hand her my sketchbook.
Is I know it's not a very big room.
Is it a sketch of the guy dead on the ground?
As you flip through it, every page is a sketch of that guy down on the ground.
She like takes them and starts ripping them into pieces. And
There's like 20 of them.
are you gonna stop her?
There'll be more.
So, Professor, you were saying.
I was just saying, I know it's a small room, but I would try to give them privacy that without actually leaving the room themselves.
So you just kind of turn and like open the room. He's mysterious and like flip through it a little
stand in
bit.
the corner and be like,
Totally can't hear anything.
yeah.
Because apparently the family that psychos together stays together.
Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Closure is important. I have a photo also. Are you off the line?
Yes. I was going to poison you when I came up here, but I didn't know it was you.
Poison me?
Well, I didn't know it was you. I thought some man had seen me come onto the ship and things. Crying hysterically.
In your current state, it's not a worry. I'll pat her on the back.
Crying hysterically.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
In her current state, it wouldn't be a problem.
I see.
Not a worry.
So, do you guys talk about anything else, or are you just kind of consoling your needs?
I will console for the first large chunk of it.
Okay.
Half hour, 45 minutes.
Here's pictures of the corpse I mutilated. I drew them myself. A whole bunch.
Yeah.
See the incision right here on the hand? That's my special one.
I did that. Me, I did that.
Mr. Rutter, if you start talking about anything that happened regarding him,
Yes.
if you do start that, I'd like you to start that as if you're actually having the conversation, because at that point, Mr. Washington would probably speak up.
So, we met a strange fellow, and we had dinner with him. What was his name again?
Captain Wilkerson.
Captain
Mr.
Wilkerson.
Starktober, I think that perhaps in your niece's current state, that once she's more recovered from her recent experience and we make sure that the details are communicated clearly, that would be a better time on time to have this conversation. No one's going anywhere else.
Call her up here, though, to give the other group the information. If we don't give her the information, how are they getting the
I'm
information?
not going back down there.
Oh, you've got to go back down there.
No.
We can't
Not-
hire you that long. You must keep up the act.
You could write a note. I'm just saying. There's
must keep
clearly
up.
a sketchbook. You could write a note.
You must keep up the act.
Well, we certainly have at least paid for the evening of having you in our company. So perhaps while you two enjoy your time together, I can craft a note for the group down there.
Wow.
And then in the morning, we can worry about things in the morning.
The professor says that as awkwardly as Phil just
Well, because there's clearly not any good way to talk about this.
No, not at all. So you craft a note explaining the situation.
Yes, as it's not going to be direct.
Okay.
But not, your dog is dead, should we get a doctor?
I mean, it was fair.
Yeah, because if it comes back this time with, "Sir, dear sir, your dog is dead." Wait, what? She went up there, she's dead now? What'd you do?
Maybe the spy should come up with a code word, man. I just like playing.
Yes.
I don't know.
If you'd
Shoot
like
in the dark,
to make some sort of roll to see how well I can communicate that without communicating it.
in his drunken state.
I had
This
to
is
roll
what
espionage.
happens when you leave the rich people upstairs trying to take care of damn business and they ain't trained.
Yeah.
Well, so you guys,
Carlos has some interesting thoughts for you, by the way.
Evelyn is upstairs in first class on the first night of the voyage. The rest of you are down.
Is there a chaise lounge?
No. The three gentlemen are still down in steerage, and that will actually do it for us tonight on Nerd Domain Presents Masks of Pilotopia. And we will talk to you guys real soon.
Alright, next one.
And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us on facebook.com/nerdsdomain, on Twitter @nerdsdomain, or over at our site nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for the newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Josh Schott for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain. And check out our shirts at slashloot.com.